If you had to choose between a skilled intern with poor communication or an average intern with great communication, which would you choose and why?
I would choose a person which has good communication. There are so many resources for a topic that we usually get confused that if I'm doing the right course, if I'm following the correct content, what if I'm wasting my time, right?
What would you suggest that would make a person's communication skills stronger and better for the near future?
To make any company use your solution, you have to
A very good morning to one and all present here. We welcome you all to the episode 3 of Tech Talk 360. It's an absolute pleasure to have all of you with us as we continue our journey of exploring the minds behind the machines. I am Sanika Patil, your hostess for today.
I am Arjun Dharmadikari, your host for today. We are joined by an inspiring voice in tech today, Mr. Yash Dixit. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause, guys.
So, to begin with, sir, we would love to know what a typical day in your life looks like.
Firstly, thanks for having me here, and it's really great to always come back to my college where I started. Okay, so I'm Yash. I work as a data scientist at Kippy.ai. It's been almost it's been almost more than 2 years now at Kippy for me. And previously, I started with persistent systems from this college itself, and there I worked in Python automation, which obviously I didn't choose. And then I studied myself and then cracked the job in data science. Okay, and I am really grateful that I'm back here and I want to help you guys. Okay, so it's a request from me. Don't feel shy about asking any type of questions. No questions are silly for you. Okay, if you want to know anything about in data science or anything you are not sure about, please ask me. If not here, I'll wait and we can have a one-on-one conversation also. I just want to help you guys, okay? So it's really good to be here. Thanks for calling me, inviting me. Thanks.
That's great. Sir, have you ever wondered what you could have done differently to make your journey more enjoyable, if not easier?
It's enjoyable right now, okay? So I want to frame it a different way. It was always enjoyable in this college, okay? And I want to add that, like, along with the normal curriculum, I was part of FE cycle, if you know. And I have always encouraged everyone to join it, like do something apart from curricular also. I was part of FE cycle for 2 years, and there, when I got in, I knew nothing. Okay, seriously, I knew nothing, and I joined as just for my curiosity. I wanted to do something. I had time, and I joined it, and it was so rewarding for me. It changed everything for me because there we worked on, we explored so many things. I was a part of information technology department, but I was working on mechanical systems. I was working on electronics there. I was talking with my peers. I learned about electronics. I learned about coding, right? I learned a lot of things that I thought I couldn't do. Okay, and that's how I like my journey started from there. That pushed me too much. Okay, that helped me a lot in exploring more things. So I would encourage everyone to join it. And to answer your question, okay, so when I started my job as a Python automation engineer, okay, that wasn't the job I chose. Okay, I always wanted to work in data science, but I couldn't crack it after the college, and that was the gap I felt that I should recover. And when I did that after 1.5 years, that was the most exciting moment of my life. Okay, because that was something I was expecting to get just after the college, but it took me a long time to get there, 1.5 years, right? And it was all the effort that I did, so it was really enjoyable. And I'm enjoying every day that I work. I love my work, so it's really good.
So that's really amazing to know. Just for the audience, what would FA cycle be?
So FA cycle is basically efficient cycle. Uh, so it's a national level competition that our college takes part in. It's a competition where teams from all the colleges all over India, they create or they manufacture a three-wheel electric vehicle across different domains, and then they compete with each other on a certain campus. Maybe at our time it was LPU, where we bring our vehicle there and they compete for different categories, okay, for different systems and benchmarks. So it is really an exciting event, and I want to encourage everyone to just like try once if you want.
Right. Right. So, to go to the next question, what's a quiet failure that shaped your professional philosophy and affected you more than other people realized?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So there are lot of small failures, I would say. Okay, so it's not like one failure that shaped me, but the one that I just talked about is I wanted a data science job just after the college and I didn't get that, and that was a quite realization for me. And there was of course there was a gap that I found out that I should prepare for, right? So that was one thing that had me a good setback for me, right? It was a really good setback for me. And why I tell it good, because it pushed me to actually do what is required, okay? And I figured it very early that whatever I'm doing and what needs to be done, so that the gap between that, it really pushed me, and I really explored. I connected with many people at that time. I talked to people, and that's how I figured out that what needs to be done to crack these jobs, right? So that was one good setback that I would say that really changed how I think over the time, right? And there are a lot of failures that I faced after I joined Kipi also, because I never worked professionally in data science, and honestly, what you learn in courses for data science and what you work on actually, it's way different. Okay, the courses teach you, they have their data ready that they provide you, and then you build a model, you do all these steps of machine learning, data science, right? And you get an output, right? But in real world, it's very different. My 80 to 90% time goes on exploring the client data, whatever we have, getting insights from it, making sense of it. All the decisions that we make around the data initially, and most of our initial days goes on that. That is the most hard part of data science. Once you make sense of it, then building an ML model is not as difficult as making sense of data and getting your data ready to for the models, right? And for creating some outcomes of it, right? So I would say that is the most part that you should focus on.
Yeah, it's interesting how the failures no one sees often end up building the strongest foundations. That's exactly why philosophy is more important than ever. We are sitting here in 2026 and the landscape is shifting under our feet. AI isn't just a tool anymore, it's restructuring entire companies. So the real question is, with AI replacing roles like blocks layoffs, are startups truly safer, or is entrepreneurship the only path?
Okay, interesting. So there's a lot of talk about this, that you should you should be an entrepreneur self. It's a really good thing if you do it, but I would say it's not about. Firstly, I'll answer the startup and MNC thing. It's really not about startup versus MNC. What I think is, it's about making yourself irreplaceable. Okay, if you don't have proper skills to exist in any organization, whether it would be a startup or MNC, you'll get replaced surely, right? But what differentiates startups or mid-sized companies from MNCs is, in startups you wear different hats. Okay, you are not just a guy with one specific skill in depth, but you have to do multiple tasks, you have to take multiple responsibilities, and you need to be accountable for it. Okay, you cannot say that I don't know this and I can't do this, right? You should be open to learn everything. In MNCs, you focus on one particular thing that you do because they have very large teams that you work with, and you don't have that pressure to wear multiple hats or focus on different skills. Okay, so that's what differentiates startups from MNCs. And sorry, and why startups are better is, especially in your initial days when you start working, is because once you wear different hats, you are open to learn anything, you are open to adapt anything, right? Your fear of not knowing something goes away, and it's like you are prepared for bigger goals in your life, right? Ahead for your next targets or next company. So startups really builds you, right? And I think everyone should focus on working in a startup, as at least for start of your like 1 or 2 years maybe, because it really builds your foundation, it really builds your confidence, and it teaches you that you can work on different things at the same time. It teaches you how to handle this pressure of constantly working and not caring about a specific skill, right? So I think it really helps to work in a startup.
Thank you, sir. That was an amazing answer, guys. And words to live by, to be irreplaceable. Those are some really amazing words, sir. And to go back to what you said a few minutes ago about you not being, wanting the job of Python, you wanting to be a data scientist.
Correct.
I would like to ask you a question on that. What's more valuable today, deep expertise or broad knowledge?
Okay. So I would say it's not both. It's like, what I think you should focus on is a T-shaped skill set. Okay, having knowledge in one specific skill in depth is good, but as I work in data science, I know that it's not only data science that I work on. Okay, at times we have to do some data engineering tasks as well. We have to deploy our models to the cloud, so I need to have cloud knowledge as well, right? There are debugging skills that you need to have. You need to have curiosity that we use, or that we have while doing the data, exploring the data, doing the exploratory data analysis. That is a part of data science. So it's not like what I think is you should have in-depth knowledge of one skill, but you should also focus on other areas around your specific skill that you should know. That really gives you an edge, that you are a master or expertise. You have an expertise in one particular skill, but you can also work skills around it, and it's a complete pipeline that you can work on, right? So that really helps, according to me.
Right, that's so true. Because in a world powered by AI, the human connection is still the ultimate currency. Let's talk about why who you know often matters as much as what you know. So, my next question would be, at a leadership level, what matters more? What you know or who you know? How should students build networks?
Okay. So networking is not what I believe is networking is not just connecting on LinkedIn or having someone's phone number. Okay, it's about knowing someone that you can provide value to. Okay, just ask yourself, why would you remember someone? You remember someone just because because that person is a value to you, right? At like in any way. Okay, there are a lot of people that connect with me on LinkedIn, but I remember those people who share some insights with me. Okay, they have done some exciting work and they wanted to share it with me and they wanted to talk about it. So I remember those people. So I think that way is the correct way, according to me, to build some connections, right? And in industry, I think both matters at times. What you know would initially open the doors for you, but who you know would get you inside the door, right? So I think both are important, but uh, networking plays a good role only when you know what you are doing, okay? Because networking can get you at a certain level only, but at that level, if when you reach that level, you have to work on yourself, right? You have to work yourself on that part. And if you don't know what you are doing, then you won't be able to stay there for long, right? So both things are important. Networking helps you grow, connect with people. It helps you for more opportunities. It helps you know that what people are doing, what the gaps are that you need to work on. Like I came here, I'm talking to you, and you might know few things that you don't know, right? So that's how it works, I think.
Yeah, that's a really interesting perspective, sir. So, taking this forward, if you had to choose between a skilled intern with poor communication or an average intern with great communication, which would you choose and why?
Okay, that's a really interesting question. Um, I would choose a person which has good communication. Apart, like rather than the skill, I would focus more on communication because skills are teachable. Okay, I can teach anyone. I can point that person to a course, to a blog or whatever resource I want, and give him time and he can learn it, right? But especially in my field of work, data science and machine learning, where we have to constantly keep communicating with the client, and client doesn't focus on the technical metrics. What they focus on is the business outcomes, right? They don't know if the client is not very technical, they don't care about what metrics are you using to judge your model, right? Accuracy and all. But what they care about is just tell me what your model is doing for me, how is it helping me, and how it will help me grow my business or save my money, right? So in that sense, I think communication plays a very, very vital role. If you are doing a really, really good job but you are unable to communicate, then that's a gap. It really affects your it really affects the process of building those solutions, right? And if you are doing average job but you are communicating it well, and the person that you are communicating to is finding it really, really good that you are progressing in, then it really helps. And in data science, communication is not only verbal. When you start your journey in data science, you will know that you need to make sense out of your data, right? And that step is called EDA, exploratory data analysis. And in that step, you need to visualize your data, yeah. And at times we do it on regular basis. When data comes to us, the first step that we do is EDA only, and during that process we visualize our data, we show it to the client, okay? So it's like showing a reflection of the data to them, their itself is their data, right? But they don't know about it, and it's like if we communicate it well visually, verbally, it really helps to get their alignment, right? So communication is way more important, I think.
Right. So before we transition to technical execution, I had a question out of curiosity. In a country like India, wouldn't it be more important to, have more contacts about who you know from the past question?
As I said, okay. So imagine you are final year student. You have not much focused on. You have lot of connections at your end, right? And you don't have up to the mark skills that you require to do the job. You will get in the MNC based on your networking, right? But how would you exist in that job, right? You need to figure out. You need to work on it, right? And for some time you may exist there, but now the times are changing, okay? and you cannot rely just on one skill. AI is doing everything right now. Okay, so it's like you really have to focus on your skills before you network. And once you're confident with your skills, networking makes it 10x and increases your opportunities so much. So networking is really important in India as well as outside anywhere. But I think skills are important as well. It plays equal role.
True that. Having skills is very important. Even for a first year student, to get into clubs, we need a lot of skills. So let's transition to technical execution and discuss how these engineering principles are applied in a professional environment.
Okay.
How do you combine data science and machine learning in real world applications?
Okay, so people often confuse data science with machine learning. It's not the same thing, but it is used like hand in hand. Okay, data science basically has its answer in its name. It's the science of data. Okay, so what data science makes you do is you have your raw data and you generate some insights. You make sense of that data. Okay, numbers don't make any sense, but when you visualize that data, you make sense of it, and you know that what you have in your hand, right? And once you know what data you have, you would know that what features I should use, right? If you have like 100 features at your hand, you don't use all the features in machine learning. You need to filter out those features, right? Not everything can be dumped into the model and then tell it to make those predictions, right? Because the quality of your data decides the quality of your outcomes, predictions, right? So if you are dumping garbage, you will always get garbage outcomes. Okay, so it's data science is all about having your data, exploring it, visualizing it, making sense out of it, and making it ready, cleaning it, and making it ready for machine learning. Machine learning comes after data science. Machine learning often involves building models, relevant models based on your use case. It can be classification, regression, or clustering, or anything, right? So it involves choosing better models, perfect models that suits with your data and provides some good outcomes. Okay. So the steps, if I technically mention it, machine learning has, I would say, data science has first EDA. You have data cleaning. You do data feature engineering. Okay, you do feature selection, and then you make your data available to the model in a clean form, right? So it's like if I have 100 features, I have gone through all these steps, and now I have 20 good features that I can use for training my model, right? And once I have that data, I can select best model for it. Now you might you might know or you might not, but you don't need to always know that which model to use. There are techniques like grid search, or there are a lot of random search, right? So there are a lot of techniques that are already available to choose the perfect model or to choose the perfect hyperparameters for the model, right? So this, after you choose a model, that comes in machine learning, then you evaluate that model, right? How you generate your predictions, and then you see how that model is performing. There are different metrics to measure different categories of models. So for regression, you have different metrics. For classification models, you have different metrics like accuracy, FN score, right? So it's like once you train your model, you evaluate it, and if you get good accuracy, you should also be careful about overfitting and underfitting. If you know, overfitting is like if I explain overfitting in simple words, it's like imagine a student and he has memorized all the questions that he has to himself, and when the test has different questions that he memorized, he is not able to perform it, right? So the model memorizes the data, just it does not understand the pattern, and it fails in the test environment. Okay, and what underfitting is, like it fails to learn itself, right? So these are the few terms that you need to be careful about. High accuracy doesn't mean the model is always great. You need to be careful about overfitting, right? And once you overcome that, and it's a like adding to this, it's a repetitive process. Okay, it's not at all like once you get your data ready, build your model, get predictions. If your predictions are low, you have to again jump on your data and see if you can remove some features, add some features. Okay, it's a very repetitive process until you get a satisfactory model. Okay, and this does not just end here. Once you build your model, you have your training and test data with yourself, right? You have tested on your test data, but it's not like your model will perform in production as well, because what happens in production is when I have my model, I deploy it on the cloud, and when some new data comes in for the test for the model to perform, it might happen that the new data is very different from what you have tested, right? And model can underperform at that production level. So that is called a data drift concept and that's a part of MLOps. So there, when that data drift happens, there are multiple techniques that can be used to retrain the model or handle that situation in MLOps. So there are a lot of things, and it's a very repetitive process in data science and machine learning. I think that should be pretty clear.
Right. So, as a professional, I would like to ask you that for a model to work properly, what are the 3 best features you would suggest to our lovely audience here?
That's a really wrong question, I guess, because you don't know what features are you feeding to the model, right? So if you have, as I said, if you have, for example, 50 features, it's about trying some features. It's about intuition, okay? When you see 50 features, and you need to have some domain knowledge, okay? It's not like, for my daily job, we deal with different clients with different domains, okay? There are clients in healthcare, consumer markets, manufacturing, right? So every company that comes in with different domain has their data based on their domain, right? So when we do EDA, when we understand their data, we also need to have that understanding of the domain, right? Because healthcare data involves data of patients, and if you don't have any idea about what these features are, so you won't be able to understand that this feature is important or not, right? So it's like selecting features is also a repetitive process. You select the first set of features that you select is based on your analysis, your EDA, your intuitions, your knowledge, domain knowledge, right? But if some features are not contributing the model much, then you always need to go back and then remove some features, add some features. You can also create derived features. A simple example of derived features can be like area of house. If there is an house price prediction model, very simple model. So it's like you have your length and breadth and you create an area feature. So it's like you can derive features from the existing features also. That really helps. And I think, it's a repetitive process. You cannot directly decide on the features, right?
Yeah, that was very well explained. Now, building on that, what courses beyond the syllabus give engineering students a real world edge?
Okay. So I would say there are a lot of very good resources available already. It's like finding good courses and focusing to complete one course at a time. What usually happens, and it happened with me, it happens with everyone, right? So it's like there are so many resources for a topic that we usually get confused that if I'm doing the right course, if I'm following the correct content, what if I'm wasting my time, right? So it's like what I would suggest is focus on one thing at a time, finish it completely, and then focus on other thing. Because what that makes you think, like what enables it. What it enables is it makes you think that you can complete a course end to end, right? Because like when you assign that task to you and you complete that course end to end, then it gives you a sense of accomplishment, right? So that creates more focus on focusing more things, like one thing at a time, right? And that really helps, I would say. And specific, like if I mention a technical skills for data science specifically, I would say the first one would be statistics and probability. And I'm not focusing on the exam version. I'm focusing on the real world practical statistics and probability. Okay, it's like whatever the sense of data that you make, I think statistics and probability helps you a lot there. Second important skill I would say is cloud technology, because every model we make, we have to deploy it somewhere on the cloud. And if you have knowledge of cloud, I think it really helps, and it helps you grow in this data science field specifically. And in MLOps part also, it's completely based on cloud, and you have to have that knowledge of cloud. And third thing, as I've already mentioned, is I want to emphasize on it, is communication. It's a really important part of our job, daily job. And if you are not well versed communicating with someone, I think it really creates that gap of explaining your outcomes to the clients, right? So it really affects that.
Right. So, considering that, what's more dangerous, bad technology or blind trust in good technology?
I think blind trust in technology, okay, because no technology has been always good or always bad. There are always two sides of every technology that we have. Few people try to build on one technology while criticize other, and other companies do that the same, right? And especially in this time where AI is taking over everything. But if I talk technically, not all LLM solutions are productionizable, right? Because we cannot be 100% sure that any LLM would give 100% accurate answer. So there is always a sense of hallucination in the LLMs, right? It generates data, random data. So it's not always that every technology is good. It's more important that for using one technology, what you are building out of it, right? What you are providing someone, what business outcome you are providing someone using any technology that you are using. And in AI, that is really important, because AI is so vast. There are hundreds of things, hundreds of tools that you can use to create any solution. And I'll give you an example of, like, it's like if you have a use case where it's, for example, a regression use case where you can use simpler models like logistic regression, but you can also use neural networks for it, right? But how to choose between these two, right? It's not like you should choose neural networks because it sounds fancier and it would impress someone. But if neural networks increases your accuracy by only 2%, then it's not worth choosing neural networks, right? Because it's increasing your cost, it's increasing your retraining time. It's really hard to maintain, right? So choosing logistic regression or that tool is more like a good choice, right? So there is always this bias between what you choose and what's good for the use case, right? So you need to be open about it. You should be able to see both sides of any technology. You should explore them and then choose what you require most.
Right, thank you, sir. Being a part of Persistent before, a giant like Persistent, and now being well-known AI, Kipi AI, I would love to ask you that what skills do you think make a student stand out during recruitment?
Okay. I would share my experience. So when I was appearing for interviews, my focus was on data science jobs, but there were very little jobs, and every job required some kind of experience. The demands were high, and we had very less guidance because we were just exploring that. I was learning on it. Okay, but the primary skill that helped me crack a persistent system was just focusing on my fundamentals. Okay, I was good with problem solving. I focused on one language. I used to solve DSA problems, and that really built my foundational level logics. And the questions were not very hard, but it was like they don't judge you about on the outcome of the answers. They just want to see that how you are approaching a problem, right? Even if you in the interviews, even if you are able to explain the pseudocode of your problem, then I think the interviewer understands that you have that logic. Okay, so I think found basic problem solving is the must skill that you should have as a final year student, right? and of course building projects, building your profile, being able to show that you have a particular skill uh, in terms of your projects. Because when in my organization, when we see people applying for jobs, and when I've talked to my seniors where they share some insights with me how they hire people, right? So what they look for is like you have data science projects all over the internet. Okay, anyone can just fork a GitHub repository and then build it on their own. But what they usually see is if you have built it end to end, if you are able to explain what you did right from the data, fetching your data, all the required steps that you have mentioned on your project, if you are able to explain it good, if you are able to comprehend what you have done on it, what models you have chosen, if you are able to technically explain what you have done, if you are confident about it, I think that explains that you have that skill and you have pretty good for the job, right? So it comes to communication, it comes to displaying what you know better. Because even if you are very great at one skill and you are not able to display it in a better way, I think anyone seeing your profile won't understand that you know that skill, right? So it's really important that you focus on your foundations, pick one skill, master it, have a T-shaped skill set, master one skill, have learn all the other skills around it, try to build your portfolio in that way, and most importantly, show these skills online, okay, through various platforms. You have GitHub, you can build your own portfolio websites, right? And that I think really helps you stand out.
Right. So, as you would know, communication, you've mentioned it so many times, so I would like to speak about it. Communication is a very, very big problem nowadays because a lot of people have a lot of problems when they're talking to someone or when they're talking about the things they can do. So, as a professional, once again, what would you suggest that would make a person's communication skills stronger and better for the near future?
Okay. So personally, I'm like when I was interviewing for companies, I was good with my communication, but not very confident on it. Okay, I used to heckle a lot, and the way that I find to improve this is being open about your work. Okay, you need to overcome your fear of judgment. You need to think less about what other people would see you as, or what other people will think if you post this, right? So LinkedIn is a very good platform that you can use to showcase your skills, what you are doing in your daily life, what you are learning, right? Just post it online, okay? And how that really helps is because you escape that cave of fear of being open to someone, right? Once you do that, once you overcome that fear, I think it really helps to build your confidence, and you get very acquainted with sharing something online, sharing with someone. Okay, again, talk to professionals more, talk to everyone more, share your insights, ask for the insight, have a good communication, and do it constantly. Okay, not do it very often that you just forget that you fear communication, right? So that really helps, and it has helped me in my job as well. When I started, I was not very confident on my data science because I had never worked in it, right? But my peers, they helped me a lot, and I kept communicating with them, asking very silly questions, asking everything that I wanted to them, and they always responded well. And I would really emphasize on it that I don't think anyone, if you ask someone something, some advice, I don't think anyone would not answer you. Okay, so just ask questions, ask something, talk to someone, and I think doing it consistently would really help. Being open about it and doing it consistently really helps overcoming your that fear, right? So I think that's how you should improve it.
I think that is what the teachers from our college want us to do as well. Like go to them and ask doubts.
Exactly.
They are always ready to help. So, but to bridge the gap between theory and the real world, Let's dive into the core technical strategies and the professional standards that define success in today's industry. What's a belief you had as an engineer that you had to unlearn to grow?
Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, what's a belief you had as an engineer that you had to unlearn to grow?
Oh, something that I have to unlearn.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Hmm. Okay, so one thing that I have to unlearn was uh, not believing in myself. Like, it generally happens with everyone that once you start learning something new, or you see, for example, data science, AI, there is so much hype about AI that it's really difficult. There are a lot of hundreds of tools that you need to learn, and it might happen to you at times that you might feel that you might not be able to do it right, but you should not do that. You should start small and then keep on learning. Nothing in this industry, or nothing, not in, there is no skill that you cannot learn. Okay, you just have to do it or learn it consistently. Focus on it consistently. Learn in small steps. Keep on growing in small steps, and then you will be able to do it. Okay, if you want to learn or master one skill, just the only thing that is stopping you is doing it consistently. If you do something for very long period of time, then I think you master it eventually. So it's not exactly on learn, but I think that that mindset I have developed over this time, since I have graduated, right? So initially we used to more focus on academics. You should focus on it, but what's more important skills are, you need to be open about your learnings. You need to focus on different kinds of skills. You should not doubt yourself, and explore more skills that you want to learn, right? So I think that really helped me.
Okay, so what is a concept in your field that most people are currently wrong about but will become common knowledge in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, I think it's about technicalities of data science and machine learning. Now, when I started working, it was really, I was in the college, I think second year or third year, and ChatGPT was not introduced at that time. So we used to actually code things, okay, not in recent times. You can just write your code using AI, LLMs, right? But we used to actually write code, and we used to build things, like actually coding it, right? But LLMs and AI have made it very very easy for now, okay? And I think this concept of writing your code by hand, or data science or machine learning concepts, it's really really readily available to you now, and in coming years it would be more readily available. Everyone, even not data scientist, but even anyone working in other field would eventually know about LLMs, know about AI, know about data science, everything, right? Before it was not like this. Before it was like only people working data science knows about data science, and other people were like, I don't know what they're doing. But now it has become a compulsion or a mandatory thing for everyone to know about Gen AI, know about LLMs,
Yeah,
right?
like it is very generalized.
It's very generalized, correct. That's a good way to put it. So it's like whatever field you are in, whatever work you are doing, whatever field you are working in, you have to have knowledge about AI. And this is what LLMs have done to everyone, right? You can know about anything, you can learn about anything, and it will be a mandatory skill to have in coming years, I think.
So, what mindset drove your success and how can beginners develop it?
Okay, I would say I'm still learning. Okay, so it took some time for me to get here where I'm today, but what I think really helps is focusing on different types of skills doing your work constantly, okay, like being very good at one skill at least, and then focusing on other skills. And especially in data science, if I would say that follow good courses, just don't jump on one course to other quickly. Take one good course, have reviewed it, like ask someone, some professional or someone, he would suggest you, because we have, when we started, we didn't have any, like we did have good resources, but we didn't know what to choose, right? We had even now you have hundreds of good courses, right? But you usually get confused, like what course should I choose, what is good for me, right? So ask someone, you will get a
So
good,
needing the right guidance.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Because a good direction, a perfect direction, like not perfect, but a good direction would take you far than focusing on multiple things at a single time, right? So it's like, do a good course, complete that course end to end. You will have a very good idea around data science and machine learning. And once you do that, you will be able to understand that what next thing you need to do, right? You will eventually understand that yourself. So I think that's how you can grow in data science.
Now, I think this is a very important question. So, as a first year engineering student, how do I strategically navigate internships from networking and outreach to building skills? Can you please give us a roadmap, sir?
Okay. So how I look into internships is, it's really a good opportunity for, at least like I would say, first year students. You should be open to internships at a very early stage in your college. It's not like you should start doing it in third year, okay? But what I feel is, the early you start working for someone, delivering something useful to a company or to a client, you would really understand this thing very early, that which way should you go, right? Because it happens that you keep on learning your skills, you keep on doing your courses, but when it comes to delivering something to a client, some business outcome, there you get stuck and you don't know what to do, right? So I would say the early you start, I think the better you will get eventually. So I think you should keep on exploring opportunities. And one thing in data science is, like, now all the tools are openly available. You can build anything using LLMs. So just find businesses around you, find some problems around you, contact your relatives, anything, anyone, right? Build something for them. That really helps. And even if you build something that helps them in a little way, but that will really build a strong confidence in you that you can build something that gives really good outcomes, right? That is beneficial for a business or someone, right? So that really boosts your confidence. So I think that's the way you should approach your learning. It's less of keep on doing the courses, but I think you should more focus on building projects, building some business outcomes, building some end-to-end solutions for someone. I think that's what you should focus on in data science and machine learning particularly.
So, as a first year student, who would want to work in AI, or as a data scientist, what would the best skills be for me to, get an internship at a good company maybe?
Okay. Firstly, the entry barrier to data science is very steep, I would say, because what data science solutions does to a company is, they give your data, and there are two kinds of outcomes that they want from you: either increase their business or save their money. Okay, so only these two kinds of things that they focus on. And if you are able to build an ML data science solution for them, if you are capable of doing, if you are able to show to them that you are capable of building that solution, I think you will easily crack any internships for it. And if I say technically, you should firstly focus on a little maths, right? Statistics and probability. It's not very vast, but you should have basic knowledge of what are different terms in statistics, okay? Like variance, standard deviation, and all, right? And probabilities also helps in further steps in machine learning. Once you develop your maths skills, you should jump on to data science, learn Python libraries like processing data, cleaning it. There are different Python tools, Python libraries that you should focus on, like NumPy, Matplotlib, Cpon, right? So these are a few things that you should learn initially to at least know that these things exist in data science. Once you do that, you can jump onto machine learning, where you will build your models and get some outcomes, evaluate it, right? So this is a complete pipeline. If you are able to, like, if you get your foundations clear for this pipeline, I think you are ready for any internship and build any models for them, right? So I think this should be enough, but that always doesn't, like, it doesn't stop there, right? You should explore deep learning, you should explore LLMs right now. But I think that should give you a head start of applying internships.
I'm going to keep that in mind, sir, especially the math part.
Thank you.
So, as we already know, for most of the jobs, people these days use AI a lot.
Yeah.
Let that be code building, as you said a few minutes ago, or let it be the smallest of the tasks to the biggest of them.
Yeah.
So, I would have to ask you that as AI handles the how, has engineering value shifted towards defining the why?
So, according to me, why and how were always there even before LLMs. But it's what has changed is just the approach we use for them now. Okay, now how you are building a solution has become really a simpler task than defining your problem. Like, even in my case, when I work in data science for different clients, our majority of time goes in defining our problem, understanding what company wants, what business outcomes they want, what is their data, understanding their data, and defining exactly what we want to do, right? Rather than how we want to do. Because how to build a solution is very simpler than what exactly you need to do. So that part comes first. That it's really important in data science that you should be able to define the ethics of the problem, the why of the problem, what you want to deliver, what is beneficial for your client, what is beneficial for the business, right? What outcomes your model would give them, right? So it's really important to focus on why right now, because building it, LLMs helps a lot in building the solutions right now. So it's really simple right at this moment, right? So I think that's it.
Right, thank you, sir. What trades-off do you prioritize between performance, cost, and scalability in system design?
I think all these three are very important for any solution that we build. Of course, for the first and primary thing is that to make your solution, to make any company use your solution, you have to create some good product, right? So it's really important to first create your good product, keeping in mind the cost thing, because not everyone wants to spend a lot of money and then realize that they could have spent less. No one wants to spend their money. They always want to save money at their end, whatever it is, right? At any step. So cost is always a part in every fraction of the work that we do. But building a really good production grade models or production grade solution is equally important, and we can compromise cost at times if the outcome we are giving them is a good solution, right? And coming on to scalability, it's there exactly cloud comes in, and it's equally important to that you build your solution which is scalable, okay? Because no business wants to build a solution for 2-3 people or 10 people, right? They want to eventually scale that solution, right? So you should always start your solution keeping scalability in mind. You cannot build a solution that is not scalable. That's really important thing in data science and machine learning solutions as well, and many people miss that. And it's a gradual process that you learn when you want to build solution in this way. I think all the three are important.
Right, so, sir, going a little for an advice here. So, if I'm entirely correct, as you mentioned at the start of the podcast, you are a part of the IT engineering segment, right?
Yeah.
So, how can a first year IT student ensure their courses align with their career goals?
Okay, firstly, it's very hard to decide what you want to do in the first year. Okay, so you should spend some time exploring different technologies. Not everyone wants to learn AI, right? You might, right? So it's not about the hype and everyone. You need to always follow what's going on. You will eventually have to learn it, but you should also focus on what you actually want to do. There are people doing tremendously good in other fields as well. Okay, so I think first year or second year it mostly goes on to exploring things. What I did was I did a lot of exploring. Okay, personally I would say that I have also worked on, for FE Cycle itself, I will give, it's a good example that we didn't have a website at that time for FE Cycle. We had this event website for Baha, but not for FE Cycle. And I built that website myself because we had a discussion and my captain told me that we were discussing that can we have a website, and sincerely I did not know web development at that point, not at all. But I said, yeah, I can try. So it took me around 1 month to build it, but I eventually learn how to build a website, right? Because I had a problem in front of me, I started solving it, and then I eventually built it. And we had a good website on ourselves then, and I learned web development. Then another thing that I learned was while working in FE Cycle, I learned about electronics as well. And that really helped me in my final year project. Being in IT, but I was in IT, but my final year project was a combination of electronics and IT. So we built a blind navigation system, a stick that would trigger GPS notifications when someone is lost. You can just press a button and provides that location to a number, and it had ultrasonic sensors and a glove and some vibrating sensors. Okay, so even if there is an obstacle in front of you, it would just vibrate on that particular direction. So that was some basic project that we did, and that whole process was really enjoyable. And before that, our plan was different. The idea was the same, but we tried to build an Android app where any blind person would just rotate their app, just select, and it would just read out the contents in the app. He would have three options. First was object detection kind of thing, where he would just rotate the mobile and it would just show him that what objects are in front of him. Second app was some OCR thing. OCR, if you know, it is optical character recognition, where you just point to a text document, it would take a screenshot and read out the text to you. And third was the GPS thing. If he's lost, then he could just send a message to someone. But the thing we did was we built it differently, separately. Like we built all the three features separately, and at the last moment we could not combine it because there were few libraries incompatible with each other. So we had to shift to this. This idea was the same, but we shifted to electronics then, because I had that I was familiar with the electronics part and all. So we quickly built it in a month, and it did work. So it was good experience at that time. So I think that really helped. It was really good at that time. I think you said that for first year students, right, you might need a roadmap. But I think most of the time, until you are sure what you want to do, you should explore multiple fields, multiple things that are already available to you. You have amazing faculty, you have amazing labs now, I have seen it. We didn't have this blockchain labs and all, okay? But you have really good opportunities now to just, you have really good faculties, you have really good facilities in college now. So you should utilize everything you have at your end. You should explore each and every field, I would say. Just try it once, and when you try different things, you will eventually know that what you are interested in, right? You will know that what thing is exciting you. For me, it was data science. We built a computer vision solution in FE Cycle itself. That really motivated me and it really excited me, right? So I think that's when I decided that I want to pursue AI. So I think that should help you figure out what you want to pursue ahead.
Sir, so with that being said, I think we all know over here that having a good job stability is very important.
Yeah.
And obviously, you're pretty sure you chose such a field thinking of that. So, being in the working world for such a long time, what do you think or what would you suggest as not just a job but a certain segment or a certain department that the students can use or the students can have for a good job stability for at least the next 20 years?
Okay.
A job that would be there and be very helpful for the next 20 years at least, so it wouldn't be a problem of AI laying it off and things like that.
Okay. What I think is it shouldn't be about a specific job role that thing you should get prepared for. It's like I think you should be able to, as I said, explore more technologies, and you should have facilities that motivate you to build on regular basis. Because when we learn a skill and when we actually build something like building an app or building an ML solution, there is so much difference in both the things, right? When you actually code yourself and when you just keep on watching videos and doing the courses, right? So it's a really different experience. You get so much confidence on yourself. You get excited what you're building on, right? And I think that really helps shape your mind or think. It changes your thinking. It builds your logic when you actually do something. So whatever field you're choosing, I think you should have a facility or an environment where you keep trying and trying multiple times and you're open to fail. Okay. It's not like you learn a skill and you will surely get an internship. You will surely, in the first shot, you will surely get a job. It's not like that. You should be able to fail multiple times. You will get confused at times. You will talk to someone, talk to your peers, what others are building, collaborate with other teams, collaborate with other people, your peers, classmates, right? And try building as many things as you can. I think that environment really motivates someone to learn new skill or to explore more, right? And I think that one thing should like it really should help anyone going ahead in the job market, because not only in data science, there are multiple roles in AI as well, right? So it's not like if you are entering one role, you will keep doing it for the next 10 years, right? You might change your role. Okay, you might have to learn new skill. You will also fail sometimes, right? And if you stimulate that exact experience in the college itself, that would really overcome your fear ahead, right? So if you keep on building things, failing, and then have that complete experience of building your logic, building your confidence at this time in 4 years itself, it would really help you in the job market. You won't have any restrictions on trying new things, changing roles, learning new technology, right? So you would have done it already, right? So I think that would really give you an edge in the coming years.
Yeah, this has been such a great discussion. And before we wrap this up, let me ask you a last question. Apart from the technical part, can you give any final advice or recommendations for students? Like how to balance academics with the extracurricular activities?
Okay. I think it's more of a personal interest. I was more interested to explore more things than academics. That's why I joined FSFL and it really helped me. But it might be the case that you might you are better learning in sitting in solitude and then focusing on yourself, learning, doing academics, learning on yourself, building projects. Some people are accustomed to collaborating with people, posting it online, being open about it, right? So it completely depends on your personal choices. But I would say that focus on one particular skill. Like first explore multiple things that you have on your plate. Choose one skill, master it good, build multiple production grade projects on it, and create projects such that other people should be able to use it. Okay, in ML, what happens is when you build a model, uh, most courses ends at you have a good prediction, you have good accuracy, and that's how it ends. But how would other people use your model? If you have built a model, for example, something in health prediction or something, if you are healthy or not, if the model you take some inputs and it predicts that if you are healthy or not, right? But if someone wants to use your model should have some online presence, right? So to deploy your model online, there are so many websites free that you can use to deploy your models, right? Build a stimulate UI, any UI that you can provide to someone, and then others can use it, right? And when someone uses your projects, it's a really good feeling, right? You have built something that other people are using, and that would really motivate anyone doing something and building something, right? So my advice would only be like, keep on learning specific skills, keep on focus on building more, and focus on your foundations more, rather than going with the hype. Do not really. You should, now as the Gen AI hype is very huge, right? But what I would suggest is, along with using this, learning about these LLM apps that you are using, building LLM projects, you should start focusing on ML fundamentals. You should start focusing on learning. You have some time at your end, right? You should start learning about statistics, ML algorithms, how these algorithms work at the back end, why each algorithm should be chosen for a particular problem, right? You should learn about deep learning, neural networks, how these neural networks are created, what is the math behind it, what are the vectors, and how these vectors are used at the back end. You should explore computer vision. That's really my choice of working. I really like working in computer vision. If you don't know, we can discuss more about it, but it's like working in ML, you work with structured data, and in computer vision, you work with unstructured data like videos, images, and all, right? So it's really important, and how I got to know this, because I explored more. I explored everything in AI, and then I chose what I want to do, right? So if I hadn't explored, then I wouldn't have known that these things exist, right? So first thing is explore, build your skills, build projects, and communicate well, talk to everyone, show your skills online. There are many people who want to help students like you. Okay, so just reach out to them. Don't feel that someone would say no. There is no person that would just deny to help you, right? So just reach out to them, ask silly questions, even if you don't know something. You will really, it would really help you bridge that gap of what you know currently and what you need to know, right? So I think that should help.
Noted, sir. And with that note, as much as we would love to have a longer conversation, I think it's time we let sir get back to his work. So we formally will now be ending the podcast. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing such mindful insights to us. And we would love to have more from you.
Definitely.
With this note, I would love to hand the podium back to the anchors.